Hello everyone, my name is Brownmiller and I will be talking to you about bullying. You're worthless. You're unlovable. You will never amount to anything. You are a waste of life. These are the words that I grew up hearing. You may ask why these words will forever echo in my mind. I know the answer, but I'll never understand it. Bullying is a problem that influences one's life, one's family, their workplace, their country, their world. School was one of the hardest parts of my day. I didn't want to go, and once I was there, I couldn't wait to leave. But even though I was bullied, I believe that schools should not expel a bully because he is harmful to the student body, since expulsion would only hurt the bully more than it would help the victim. We will first look at a few of the problems of bullying. We need to look at bullies themselves and see if there is any deep-rooted hurt behind the bully, and then we need to see if there's a solution that will help, if not solve, the issue of bullying entirely. Let's first take a look at the problems. Bullying is a problem that has been creeping into our schools for many years. Ken Rigby mentions in New Perspectives on Bullying that bullying occurs when some person or a group of persons is deliberately and repeatedly hurting or frightening someone who is less powerful. Bullying is a problem in schools, and there are many studies that show the need to help for those who are bullied. But something we must consider is that eventually the bullied will soon become bullies. One of the reasons why bullying is a problem is because it makes children feel like a victim. It teaches them that they are worthless and useless. The words aren't true, but once the victims start listening to those words, that's when the words become true. Because of their sense of worthlessness, those who are bullied may act out and bully others. The problem continues to escalate more and more as children begin to lash out on each other. It's like a domino effect. Once one child bullies another child, that child then will feel like they have to bully the child underneath them, and the line will continue forever until we put a stop to it. Now that we've discussed a little bit about the problem with bullying, let's point our attention to the bullies and their own struggles. Bullies are often thought of the one and only main problem of this issue. They are obnoxious and sneaky, and they tend to be extroverts with a popular social standing. They tend to have a low self-esteem, which normally starts in the home. Remember, many bullies are bullied themselves. They're bullied by their older siblings, their caretakers, their parents. And just to preface myself, I'm not talking about physical abuse. That's in its own category all to itself. I'm talking about the mental, sometimes physical, and emotional bullying that happens in some homes, which then eventually leads to school. The bullies' tactics range from impolite comments to physical offenses. Many bullies feel hopeless at home, so they take out their anger on their peers at school. Though this is no excuse, we need to help them in learning how to deal with their emotions. We have to help the bullies overcome the temptation to bully. Denise Lyons says in his book, The Bullies, the wide range of bullying behaviors and motivations show how any attempt to label a youngster as a bully upon a limited observation of their social behavior can be problematic. When we label a kid as a bully, then they feel like that's exactly what they have to be. For example, when a bully tells another child that they are worthless, the child will soon begin to feel worthless. Labeling the bully will only empower them to bully. We need to focus on the source, which are the bullies. Don't label them into being a bully, but encourage them to be someone more reputable. Instead of allowing their stored up feelings to be taken out on the innocent bystander, we need to teach them the mature way in handling their stored up feelings. If we don't teach them, they will ostracize themselves from any relationship they will have. They will continue to be a bully throughout their adult years, which will lead to more hurt, more anger, and possibly more confusion. Now that we know a little bit more about bullies, let's talk about a solution for the problem. Chris Lee says in Prevent Bullying in Schools, bullies usually represent the major challenges to those staff dealing with bullying as their behavior arouses outrage, fueled by parents of victims demanding retribution and punitive approaches. Most people think one of the many solutions to end bullying is simply to expel the bully. I've seen countless times when the school sees that there's a problem, yet ends the problem by expelling the student. But could this really be the answer? If we decide to release the bully out of our hands when we know that there's a problem, we've done more harm than good for both the bully and the victim. We read in School Bullying, Insights and Perspectives by Sonia Sharp and Peter Smith, it is the school which ultimately holds responsibility for all pupils in its care. If the bully is expelled, yes, the victim will have a temporary lapse of time where he or she will not be bullied. They will never truly learn how to deal with the bully, and thus they will continue to have a mindset of a victim. What's going to happen the next time that there's a bully, even in school or adulthood? We have to teach them to stand up for themselves while being mature in handling the bully. There will always be bullies in the world, but there doesn't always have to be victims. We have to teach the victims that they're not what the bullies say that they are, and instead lift them up to become even better than before. This leads me to the solution for bullies. Bullies are naturally combative. They don't want to take criticism or even accept the consequences for their actions. This is why many schools just decide to expel the bullies that they encounter. However, I don't feel like that's the best way in handling the actions. If schools decide just to expel the problem, there's no real solution to the problem, because that bully will go out and do what he or she has already been doing, bully. However, when a school is aware of the problem, they can take action and help the bully understand what they are going to do and the harm that causes schools for the rest of their lives. We need to have specific classes and help those who bully. They do need to have consequences, but not expulsion. They need to have group projects, community outreach, or even just have a teacher who cares. These are more important things that we can enforce so the bully knows how to communicate with his peers. If we don't take them under our wing, they will forever be bullies and eventually become outcasts because they don't know how to interact. For example, a friend of mine experienced this very life-changing lesson. She was a bully, one who would say or do anything to hurt anyone that she has targeted. She didn't care about the consequences because she knew nothing could change the way she felt. However, instead of getting expelled, a teacher reached out and began working with this friend. She began showing her how to communicate and interact with her peers. My friend, the bully, used to lash out and hurt, but now she's conscious and delicate with her words and her actions. She once told me that if it wasn't for that one teacher, she would have always been a bully. She didn't know how to act towards her peers, so she acted out against them. But with a little helping hand and love, she understood on how to be a respectable person who contributes to society. And did I mention I was the one that she bullied? A victim and a bully became friends because one teacher taught with love and compassion rather than punish with expulsion. Right now we'll be taking question and answers. Does anyone have a question based on what you've heard here today? Yes?
So how does it help the victim if the bully is left in the school?
So how does it help the victim if the bully was left in the school? Right now we need to teach the bully to not be a bully. So they'll be changing. We need to teach the victim how not to be a victim. And they'll both see that yes, people can change, and hopefully they'll be able to coincide with each other in society. Remember that when you see a situation of bullying, the best thing to do for both victim and bully is not to ignore it or send the bully away, but to use this as a learning tool in how to interact with others. Too many bullies are brushed off to the side because of their actions, and they're the ones who need the love the most. It's our job to raise a generation of respectful and respectable adults. We can't do that if we simply ignore the problem or let someone else take care of it. If everyone says that someone else can help the bully, then the bully will constantly be wandering, waiting for someone to simply care enough to reach them. I'm going to give you a handout to remind you today of what you've heard. I want you to read it. It's a couple quotes, but read it, think about it, and look for it in your schools, in your churches, even in your homes. You never know when you can help a bully and a victim eventually become respectful peers. For this reason, I believe that schools should not expel a bully because he is harmful to the student body, since expulsion would hurt the bully more than it would help the victim. Thank you.